What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great and amazing day. In today's video, as you can see, I am coming back with another video, and basically in this video I am going to be showing you guys my physical TBR. And I know you guys are like, girl, weren't you wearing this in your book tour video? Yes, I'm recording this all in one sitting, so ignore the fact that I'm wearing the same green shirt over, okay? Mind your business, okay? But anyways, I am coming to you guys with a video of my physical TBR. This is actually one of the bookshelves that I did not show you guys because of course I wanted to record this in another video for you guys. You can kind of see them in the back, but that's okay. So yes, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in the video and grab some of the books. So the first book I have is We Were Liars. This is by E.L. Lockhart. I also have Family of Liars as well. These are both of the books that I plan on reading, I want to say before the end of this year, because I already had an October TBR that I do plan on recording after this, and these books just won't make it because the books that I'm going to read in October are like a series. It's a 7-part series. If you can guess, you probably can guess in the comments down below. If you probably already know because you've probably seen these books in my book tour on my bookshelves. So it's a 7-part series, and you know, I'm at the let me tell you, them books, they get bigger as the series goes on. The books get bigger and thicker, so I'm not gonna get to any of these books, not this month at least, not in October, but I possibly can get into these before the end of the year. So We Were Liars and Family of Liars by E.L. Lockhart. No, it's just E. Lockhart. Okay, sorry. E. Lockhart. I've heard really mixed reviews about these books. I've heard some people say they're okay. And I've heard some people say they just hated it. They hate it. And then you have some people who really love it. So honestly, you know, I just want to go in with a blind mindset. Not a blind mindset. What am I trying to say? Open-minded. Yes, go in open-minded with these books because everybody has their own opinion. At the end of the day, everybody has different tastes in books. You know, I might like a type of book, you might not like it. You might like a type of book, I might not like it. So it is what it is. Everybody has their own taste when it comes to books. So it is what it is. If some people don't like it and some people do, then it's just their taste. But I'm gonna try it out for myself and see if I like it myself. So got these two books right here. Okay. The next book I have is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Is it Maas or Maas? I'm not sure. Can you guys see it? Yeah. This book, I only have the first book. Now let me explain. I'm going to tell you guys right now. I have a lot of books that are series, and I only have the first book. And let me tell you why. Because I kind of the book page was bent, and I did not bend it. But okay. Anyways, I have a lot of books that I only have the first book of the series, and that's because I kind of put myself, or I rather should say my mom put me on a book buying ban for the month of October. So in the month of September, your girl just kind of like, for some reason that meant in my head to buy a whole bunch of books, because it's like, oh, in October I can't buy any books, so let me just buy a whole bunch of books in September, so when October comes I'll be stacked up. I won't have a need to buy or feel sad I don't have enough books, because I'll have a whole bunch of them because I bought them in the month of September. But I just kind of stuck with buying the first book of these series just in case I didn't like it, you know, then I want to have, you know, committed to the series, I should say, by having a whole bunch of the other books. So I pretty much just have one, even though I know it's like what, 4 or 5 in this, I'm not sure. I know I've heard that it's supposed to be like a Beauty and the Beast retelling type of thing, I think. Don't quote me. Listen, I really also know that this is like popular on booktok. I don't have a booktok or TikTok, or I don't do TikTok, nothing like that, so I don't know. But I do know I have seen like complications of TikTok on YouTube, so that's how I know that this is very popular on TikTok, on booktok I should say. So yeah, I'm really excited to start this. But again, the series I'm on, I know for sure this book I do want to get in before the end of 2022. So That's this book. Oh, I'm excited for this book. I'm excited for this book, and this is Circe by Madeline Miller, or Madeline Miller. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Circe. Okay, let me say this. First off, why was I saying this book? Why was I calling this book Circle? For the longest, I was saying Circle. I don't know where the L is, but I swore I saw that L in this title, but it's no L in this title. It's Circe, and this is another mythology retelling by Madeline Miller. And I got this book simply because I love the Song of Achilles. It has a special and dearest place in my heart. I love that book with all my heart. I really do. And so when I saw that she had another one, Circe, I was like, oh, I have to get it because I love the first book. It's not like a series or anything, but it's the first book from her. I love it so much. So I'm like, y'all, do y'all see that? Hold on, focus, not on my face. Do y'all see that? What the hell is that? Y'all, I take good care of my book. Well, my new book. I take good care of my new books. I didn't do anything for that to be on there. That is ridiculous. And this cover is so cute. I know some people say they don't like these type of books where they have like that little flap, but I don't mind it. I don't mind these. Look at the inside. I hope the camera's focusing because I can't see, but do y'all see that? I'm excited. This is really high up there for me to read just because I love the Song of Achilles. So we have Circe, yeah, from Sarah J. Maas, or Maas. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but we have Thorn of Glass. This is another book from her. Again, this is another book that I only have the first book from the series, and it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 books. 7 books. And I only have the first one, so I'm excited. This one says 2 men love her, the whole land fears her, only she can save them all. And you know, this book has the same feel as the fine print and terms and conditions book. It has that type of feel, like velvety feel of it. I love it. I love these books that feel like this. These books are thick. Y'all hear that? Give me y'all some ASMR real quick. Okay, I'm done. Okay, but yeah, Thorn of Glass. Do you guys want me to like give you information of these books? I feel like these are really popular. All these books are popular. Like they're like booktok type popular books that I'm just kind of new to. Like I'm a newbie too, so I don't know nothing like about them. So do y'all need me to explain? I mean, I could read the synopsis for you, okay? It says, in a world without magic, an assassin is summoned to the castle. She comes not to kill the vicious king who rules from his throne of glass, but to win her freedom. If she defeats 23 killers, thieves, and warriors in a competition, she will be released from prison to serve as the king's champion. Her name is Selena. That last name, we're not even going to talk about that. The crown prince will provoke her, the captain of the guard will protect her, and a princess from a faraway land will befriend her. But something evil dwells in the castle and it's there to kill. When her competitors start dying one by one, Selena's fight for freedom becomes a fight for survival and a desperate quest to root out the evil before it destroys her world. This sounds really good. And it's a 7-book series, so I mean, I hope it just gets better. You know, don't go down, don't get worse, okay? I hope it just gets better from here because this sounds really good. Okay, so that's Thorn of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, or Maas. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Now we have another one, and this is by now let me say this, let me explain this. Focus, you see that? That's from Amazon. Amazon did that. It was not me. I'm just telling y'all that now. But we have Eliza, or Elisa. I'm gonna say Eliza. I think that's how you spell Eliza's name from The Sims, Eliza Pancake. So I'm gonna say Eliza Sussman. Funny you should ask. I was told that this is supposed to be like a Chris Evans remake of an interview he did like years ago, something like that, but turned into like a romance, and it's so flappy. I like that. So basically it's like then 20-something writer Shani Horowitz is stuck with, while her former MFA classmates are nabbing high-profile book deals, all she does is churn out puff pieces. Then she's hired to write a profile of a movie star, Gabe Parker, her #1 celebrity crush in the latest James Bond. All Channing wants to do is keep her cool and nail the piece. But what comes next proves to be life-changing in ways she never saw coming, as the interview turns into a whirlwind weekend that has the tabloids buzzing and Channing getting closer to Gabe than she had planned. Then it says now. 10 years later, after a brutal divorce and a healthy dose of therapy, Channing is back in Los Angeles with the career of her dreams as a successful writer. Except that no matter what new essay collection or online editorials she's promoting, someone always asks about the profile. It always comes back to Gabe. So when his PR team requests that they reunite for a second interview, she wants to say no. She wants to pretend that she's forgotten about the time they spent together. But the truth is that Channing wants to know if those 72 hours was as memorable to Gabe as they were to her, and so she says yes. Alternating between Channing and Gabe's first meeting and their reunion a decade later, the deliciously irresistible novel will have you hanging on until the last word. So basically this is what this book's about. The cover is so cute. It's so cute. It's giving Valentine's Day vibes. Do I think I'm gonna get to this before the end of 2022? No, I really don't think so, just because I have so many good books that I know I want to read. It just depends on how many books I can read in the month. Honestly, since August, my reading number for books, or my book number, what books I've read in the month have been dwindling, if I would say so. Like in August I read like 14, and I think September I read like, what, I don't even think I hit 10. So you know, it just alternates depending on how available I am. Really, I realized August it was kind of school started, so I was able to get like 14 books. And I read majority of those, all of those on my Kindle. So I don't know, maybe I do think I read on my Kindle quicker than I do physical copy books, but it's sometimes a lot more fun. It's more fun to read the physical copy books than Kindle, even though I do love my Kindle. Highly would recommend to get one. But yes, so that's funny you should ask. Okay, now we have another book by Achilles. I never knew how to pronounce his name. I think it's Hosseini. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. This is from the author from 1,000 Splendid Suns and The Kite Runner. I told you guys that 1,000 Splendid Suns is one of my top tier best books ever, and this is the same author. It's called And the Mountains Echoed. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've had this book since high school and I've never read it. And again, I think I just fell in love with his writing in 1,000 Splendid Suns that I was like, I want to check out his other books, because I know I liked the Kite Runner movie and I liked the book 1,000 Splendid Suns, and of course I should like this book. The synopsis says, it begins in 1952. 10-year-old Abdullah and his younger sister Pari, I'm sorry for pronouncing that wrong, are everything to each other. What happens to them at the despairing hands of their father will test the unshakable bounds of family and irrevocably change not just their own lives but those of multiple generations. In this tale revolving around not just parents and children but brothers and sisters, cousins and caretakers, Khalid Hosseini explores the many ways in which families nurture, wound, betray, honor, and sacrifice for one another, and how often we are surprised by the action of those closest to us at the times that matter most. Following its character and the ramifications of their lives and choices and love around the globe, from Kabul to Paris to San Francisco to the Greek island in Tinos, the story expands gradually outward, becoming more emotionally complex and powerful with each turning page. Wow, I have not read that synopsis in so long that, whoa, I definitely think, honestly, this was just a book I found in one of my, because before I had the bookshelves, I had like little storage that I put some of my books in and other stuff as well. So it's been a long time since I even saw this book, because again, I've had this since high school and I graduated in 2018, so it's been a while. And it's been a long time since I've read the synopsis, so that really sounds really good. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it in the year of 2022 though, but it might happen. I don't know. I just have so many books that I have to read. Like so many. I just do. I don't know. And then I have another book, The Hunger Games. Okay, this is by Suzanne Collins. I've never read the books. I've seen the movies. I love the movies, so I figured I would love the books. So again, The Hunger Games. I had no idea that the books were this thin. Like, look how thin that is. I really thought that this was going to be like something way long, because I love the movies, but I just never read the books. So I do plan on reading the books. Again, this is another series where I just have the first book. I didn't buy the rest of them. It's only, what, 21 chapters. It's like, how many pages? Let's see. 374 pages. 374 pages. It looks small, but that is a lot of pages. So, The Hunger Games. I'm not gonna read the synopsis. You guys should know what The Hunger Games is about, okay? There you go. The next book I have is The Inheritance Game. This is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So the synopsis for this is 46.2 billion. Can somebody give me $46.2 billion, please? Please, like, just give me $1 billion. You ain't gotta give me the 46.2. Just give me one. Just give me $1 billion. I'll take it. That'd be really nice. Thank you so much. But $46.2 billion dollars. I thought, my heart attacking my rib cage and my mouth sandpaper dry. Tobias Hawthorne was worth $46.2 billion. Why am I talking so funny? Dollars. What is dollars? Dollars. And Tobias Hawthorne didn't leave everything on to his grandparent. I can't read, y'all. I can't read. Y'all gotta excuse me. I cannot read. We're gonna start that all over. Start it over. Okay, we got $46.2 billion. I thought, my heart attacking my rib cage and my mouth sandpaper dry. Tobias Hawthorne was worth $46.2 billion, and Tobias Hawthorne didn't leave everything to his grandsons. He didn't leave everything to his daughters. The math in this equation did not add up. It couldn't add up. My brain ground to a halt. My ears rang. One by one, the only occupants of the room turned to stare at me. I don't know if that was really the synopsis. Oh, that was not the synopsis. I forgot this was the hardcover. This is a hardback book, so the synopsis is in the inside. Hold on. Secret patches, elaborate riddles, billions at stake. Let the games begin. Avery Gramps has a plan for a better future, surviving high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune. The only catch, Avery must move into his sprawling mansion full of secrets, passages, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne House is also occupied by the family that Tobias Hawthorne just disinherited. This includes the 4 Hawthorne grandsons, dangerous, magnetic boys who grew up with every expectation that one day they will inherit billions. Heir apparent Grayson Hawthorne is convinced that Avery must be a con woman, and he's determined to take her down. But his brother Jameson views her as their grandfather's last hurrah, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved, caught in a world of wealth and privilege. With danger around every turn, Avery would have to play the game herself just to survive in this twisty, thrilling new mystery from beloved author Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Okay, that sounds really good. And I know this is like, it has 2 other books. What is it? The Hawthorne Legacy and then The Final Gambit. I know The Final Gambit just kind of came out, but I decided just to get this first book because I haven't read it, and I really think, I know for sure I'm going to get to this in the year of 2022 because I have a lot of thrillers. I ain't gonna cap. I got a lot of thrillers, and I am ready to read some thrillers because I'm currently reading, it's not a thriller. I don't even know what genre you would put it under, but yeah, I'm really ready to read some thrillers. So this book is up there in the list of books I'm really ready to jump into. Yeah, but it can't be this month obviously because I have to wait till November to even get the other 2 books. So yeah. Okay. The next book I have is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I believe that's how you pronounce her name, or is that even a woman? I'm not even sure. I'm so sorry, I don't know. But this is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Last time I checked, it had something to do about a woman who was, I think she was running away from a marriage she was supposed to do. She was supposed to get married to some guy. She ends up running away and praying on a night she wasn't supposed to pray about. I'm gonna just read the synopsis because honey, it's been a while since I had this book, so let me just read that for y'all. Okay. Never pray to the gods that answer after dark. Okay, so yeah, so she prayed at a wrong time or something, and it ended up making her where she could never, will never die basically. But the gag is she also is easily forgotten. Like, if you were to meet her and then you leave a room and then come back in, you wouldn't remember her even though you just met her. So she could live forever, but you can't remember her. People can't remember her. But supposedly something happens to where somebody ends up remembering who she is. So something like that. So I guess you could say it's kind of like a mystery, right? Because it's like if she's supposed to be like, you can't remember her, and then somebody says, oh, I remember you, I remember that name, then you are rememberable. So I don't know, but yeah. And this is set in 1714, so that's a long time. So do I think I'm gonna get to this before the end of 2022? That's a stretch. I ain't gonna cap. That's a stretch. Now these two books, got Six of Crows, and we got Crooked Kingdom. This is by Leah Bardugo. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm bad with remembering names. I'm bad with saying names. My memory is terrible. It's trash. I'm just giving y'all the heads up right now, okay? But anyways, these are these two books. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I read the first chapter of this book and then I was like, yeah, let me put this back real quick, because honey, I was confusion. Because I'm gonna be honest, I have not read the Shadow and Bone series. I don't plan on reading the Shadow and Bone series. It did not seem interesting to me to read, and I was under the influence and told that you could just read these books, hops into it without reading the Shadow and Bone series, because they're kind of like standalone in a way, but they're in the same world. So I was like, okay, great. Because honestly, when I was reading the synopsis of Shadow and Bone, it didn't sound interesting to me to read, so I didn't do it. So just have these two. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, this book should not be on the shelf. I have read this book. I didn't finish it though, that's the thing. I am on chapter 9. I'm on page 235, y'all. Chapter 9. Didn't even get to 10, and even at the double digit for this book. And this is one of the books that was going to end up putting your girl in a reading slump. It was gonna put me in a reading slump. I didn't really like it. I maybe one day I'll finish it. This is actually what's sad about it, is that this was the first book that I ever got from Book of the Month. This is the book that I decided to get for my first time getting a book from that company. This might be one of those books that I have to you know, because I mentioned in my book tour that I might do a video recording myself reading books that I ghosted. I decided not to continue reading. This might be one of those that had to happen to that video, because I did not finish this book, and it was putting me in a bad place. Okay, it was putting me in a reading slump. But after this book, after I had just said, let me just stop reading it, I ended up reading She Drives Me Crazy, and that's why I love that book so much, because I told you guys in that video it got me out of a reading slump, and it was after this book, because it was putting me in a fucking reading slump. Okay, so that's that. That's not a, I've read it, I've started it, let me say, but yeah. Okay, so this book, this is by Casey McQuiston. I guess Shara Wheeler, excuse me. I do know that she is the same author who wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue. I liked it, but it was just okay. I didn't finish it. I don't know when I'm gonna finish it. The concept of it wasn't bad. I don't know. I don't think I was in the mood to read it. So I decided to try to give her another try. I heard like really nice things about this book, and also let me show y'all something. This book. Do you see this? Do you see that though? That's so cute. So I had to get the book just simply because the doggone cover. And the cover of the hardback is really cute. I had to do it. But for this book, let me read the synopsis. It says Chloe Green is so close to winning. She spent the 4 years since her mom's moved her from Southern California to Alabama. Me, like I'm not in Georgia, but still. Alabama for high school, dodging gossipy classmates and the administration of Willow Grove Christian Academy. The goal that kept her going, winning valedictorian. Her only rival, prom queen Shara Wheeler. The principal's perfect progeny. Yes. But a month before graduation, Shara kisses Chloe and vanishes. On a furious hunt for answers, Chloe discovers she's not the only one Shara kissed. There's also Smith, Shara's longtime quarterback sweetheart, and Rory, Shara's bad boy neighbor with a crush. The three have nothing in common except Shara and the annoyingly cryptic notes she left behind, but together they must untangle Shara's trail of clues to find her. It'll be worth it if Chloe can drag Shara back before graduating to beat her fair and square. Thrown into an unlikely alliance chasing a ghost through parties, break-ins, puzzles, and secrets revealed on monogrammed stationery, Chloe starts to suspect that there might be more to this small town than she thought. And maybe, probably not, but maybe more to Shara too. Fierce, funny, and frank, Casey McQuiston's I Kiss Shara Wheeler is about breaking the rules, getting messy, and finding love in unexpected places. So it sounds really, really good. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this sounds like a show that I used to watch on Netflix that they ended up canceling. I don't think it originated on Netflix though. I think they just picked it up from regular TV and put it on Netflix. If I remember, I'm gonna put the picture of it somewhere. It really reminds me of a girl and two guys chasing after another girl because they had a relationship with her in some type of way. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then you know, but I'm gonna try to remember to put it in the picture of the show in the video. But this is exactly what this book actually reminds me about. So I Kiss Shara Wheeler, I'm really excited. I really have high hopes and I really think I'm really gonna like it. Hopefully I do. Hopefully it doesn't put me in a reading slump like Red, White, and Royal Blue did, because I didn't have time for it. Next book I have is One of Us is Lying. This is by Karen M. McManus, I think. I read a little bit of this, but I ghosted it. But I do plan on, I'm on what, chapter 5. I might end up starting back from the very beginning because I don't remember all that happens. But I do know it's another book by this author from this series is One of Us is Next. If you guys can see on the back, I do plan on reading this. I don't know if I'm going to read it again in the year of 2022. I might though, because I'm really trying to, after I finish the series I'm currently reading, I do think I want to jump into reading thrillers and mysteries. So because that was my goal of reading them in October, but I'm kind of starting on a series that I know is going to take up all of October, that I won't have any time to read these yet. But you know, it's fall season, so it'll still hit the same. So next book I have is Dear Evan Hansen, and I know y'all see that big ass sticker from Target. I got this from Target. I had this for a while. I actually did start reading this as well. I'm on chapter 2. I'm probably on chapter 2. Let me see. Chapter 2. So I didn't get nowhere in this. I started it, I was like, nope. I never came back to it, but I do think I'm going to finish this. I'm going to read this and finish it. Will be in 2022. Debatable. And then next we have is The Henna Wars. This is by Adiba J. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna butcher her name because I know I can't pronounce that. But The Henna Wars, it sounds so cute. It looks, the cover is so adorable. I had to get it, you guys. I had to. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read you guys the synopsis for this book. It says, the Shat's parents say she can be anyone she wants as long as she isn't a lesbian. Oh, my battery's dying. Ain't that some shit? Okay guys, I'm back. My battery went dead. I need to give me another battery and like another charger so that it can, you know, the show can keep going on. But I'm gonna try to hurry up because I don't know how much. I only got like a little bit of juice in this battery, so I'm just gonna hurry up. So again, I left off with the Henna Wars. The synopsis for this, it says Nashat doesn't want to lose her family, but she also doesn't want to hide who she is, and it only gets harder once a childhood friend walks back into her life. Flavia, I believe, is beautiful and charismatic, and Nashat falls for her instantly. But when a school competition invites students to create their own businesses, both Flavia and Nashat decide to showcase their talent as henna artists. In a fight to prove who is the best, their lives become more tangled, but Nashat can't quite get rid of her crush, especially since Flavia seems to like her back. As the competition heats up, Nashat has a decision to make: stay in the closet for her family, or put aside her differences with Flavia and give their relationship a chance. That sounds really, really good, and I do want to get to this before the end of 2022. That's that. And then I have another okay. So let me tell you guys about this book. This is Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, I believe. And this is a no. It has two names on here. It says, I think one of them is the graphics designer, and then one is just the author. So I'm gonna say Rainbow Rowell, and I'm gonna say Faith Erin Hicks. So it's by two people. I think one is just like the illustrator for the book, and then one is the author, so of the story. But this is a graphic novel. I have not read a graphic novel in like forever. I want to say the last time I read a graphic novel was in middle school, so it's been a while. I do want to get to this in October. I told you guys I have a series that I'm currently reading that's going to take up all of October, but I do, if I can slide this in, because look at this. Let me show y'all. Oh, that looks so good. Look at that. I'm so excited. It's called Pumpkinheads, and it's so cute, and I do want to get to this in October, so hopefully this will be getting in 2022. I can tell you that much. So that's that. The next book I have is Killers of a Certain Age. I got this book not from Book of the Month. I believe you can get this from Book of the Month. I know I've seen quite a few booktubers who have gotten theirs from Book of the Month, but I didn't get it from there. But I did see it, and I read a lot of synopsis, or I heard a lot of reviews from it. So people like reading synopsis of it, and it seemed really interesting and really good. So I was like, let me go ahead and get my copy of it. Basically, it's about these three women: Billy, Mary, Alice, Helen, and Natalie. They work for assassins. They're actually assassins, but they're very older in age. So as they have worked as assassins in their younger age, now that they're older, they supposedly have now gotten this like vacation, whatever you can say that. But it turns out basically the company that they work for is now putting a hit on them, so they basically have to outsmart their company, because they're basically, you know how it is, it's kind of like it reminds me a little bit of like you know how you used to have people who work in like what am I trying to say, working like factories and stuff like that. And then have you ever seen that commercial of when people used to work in the factories, but slowly it became less people and more like robots and technology and stuff like that? But instead of this, it's more like younger generations of assassins are now working for this company, and so they're kind of like outshining the older generation of assassins. So basically they set up the younger assassins to take out the older assassins. So pretty much that's what this book is about. Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayborn. I'm really excited to read this, and I do want to get to this before the end of 2022. Okay, next book that I have is by Alice Finley. It is Finney, excuse me, I said Finley. Finney, and this is Daisy Darker, a novel. This is a mystery slash thriller. Who did I hear this from? I'll put her name because y'all, my brain is going gone, and I know I only got a couple. I don't know how long I can have till my camera goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on me. So basically it's a mystery and thriller. Let me read the synopsis. Honestly, I just know I saw from the YouTuber, she was talking about it, and it sounded really interesting. I also got another book from Alice Finley. It is this book as well, Rock Paper Scissors. I have this book. I had not read it, and I do plan on reading this. I want to read this in the before the end of 2022. So I have both these books from her. Both of these books. Let me go ahead. I'll read the synopsis for this one. It is Things have been wrong with Mr. and Mrs. Wright for a long time. Every anniversary, the couple exchange traditional gifts: paper, cotton, pottery, tin, and each year Adam's wife writes him a letter that she never lets him read until now. Self-confessed workaholic and screenwriter Adam Wright has lived with his face blindness his whole life. He can't recognize friends or family or even his own wife, and Amelia is sick of feeling unseen. When Adam and Amelia went a weekend away to Scotland, it might be just what their marriage needs. They both know this weekend will make or break their relationship, but they don't randomly win this trip. One of them is lying and someone doesn't want them to live happily ever after. So basically this is by Alice Feeney, and this is Rock, Paper, Scissors. I do want to get to this before 2022, or the ending of 2022. And then we have Daisy Darker by her as well. The synopsis for this is: after years of avoiding one another, Daisy Darker's entire family is assembling for Nana's 80th birthday party in Nana's crumbling Gothic house on a tiny tidal island. They're finally back together one last time, and when the tide comes in, they will be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. The family arrives, each of them harboring secrets, Then, at the stroke of midnight, as a storm rages, Nana is found dead. An hour later, the next family member follows. Trapped on an island where someone is killing them one by one, the Darkers must reckon with their present mystery as well as their past secrets before the tide goes out and all is revealed. With a wicked wink to Agatha Christie's "And Then There Were None," Daisy Darker's unforgettable twist will leave readers reeling. Reeling. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that episode of Family Guy, And Then There Were Few. If you guys watched that episode of Family Guy where everybody in the town basically goes to like this Gothic place, and then everybody keeps up dying and missing, and they're trying to figure out who does it. This reminds me of that basically, but yeah. So basically these two books are books that I do want to try to get to before the end of 2022. Okay, the next book I have is Late to the Party. This is by Kelly Quindlen. I got this book simply because I love She Drives Me Crazy, and this is also by that same author, so I was like, I might as well try this one out. The synopsis for this book is: 17 is nothing like Cody Teller imagined. She never crashed a party, never stayed out too late, she never even been kissed. And it's not just because she's gay, it's because she and her two best friends, Maritza and Jacori, spend more time in her basement watching Netflix than engaging with the outside world. I can relate, except for Netflix is books. So when Maritza and Jacori suggest crashing a party, Cody is highly skeptical. Those parties aren't for kids like them. They're for cool kids, straight kids. But then Cody stumbles upon one of those cool kids, Ricky, kissing another boy in the dark, and an unexpected friendship is formed. In return for never talking about that kiss, Ricky takes Cody under his wing and draws her into a wild summer filled with late nights, new experiences, and one really cute girl named Lydia. The only problem? Cody never tells Maritza or Jacori about any of it. So again, I really love She Drives Me Crazy about this author, so I just figured I might as well try it out because I really like her work. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she lives in Atlanta, and I live in Atlanta as well. So yeah, there you go. So I I think I want to get to this before the end of 2022? Maybe I might be able to. Maybe, we'll see. Last but not least, the very last book on my physical TBR is none other than I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I am really excited to read this. I do want to get to this before the end of 2022. This is a non-fiction book, which is like so crazy because every book that I've listed to you guys is fiction. Oh, it's kind of, you really can't see. Can you see? Bam. Okay, it's kind of hard to see because of the glare on this the type of paper, type of cover this is. But I do really want to get to this book before the ending of 2022. I'm really excited for this book. I've heard really good things about this, and you know, I've heard that it's been really hard for a lot of people to get their hands on this book. So the fact that I have a physical copy, hardback at that, I feel, and also I don't know, every time I look at this cover, I guess I find something new, if you would say. Like the fact that this is an urn with like the little confetti wrapper that you get in gifts, like as a surprise. Like I didn't even comprehend that until I looked at it. I was like, wow, that's a whole urn with that little paper stuff in it, as if it's like a gift for her that her mom has died. Which, I mean, I've heard some of the stuff that happened to her from her mom, so I'm like, yeah, it probably is a gift that her mom's dead. But honestly, I'm really excited for this book, and I do want to hop into it, and I do believe I will get to this before the end of 2022. So first, right now, I'm just going to go ahead and try to count all the books that I have showed you guys. I might put a like counter in the video, I don't know, maybe not, but I'm just going to go ahead and count really quick. So I have 1, you guys, I pretty much put back my shelves and I counted, and I have 22 books on my physical TBR that I need to read and get to. So yeah, your girl got a lot of reading to do. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please don't... Are you focused? Focus on me. Okay, let me stop. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video, which is going to be twice every week, I believe. I haven't set my days yet, but twice every week, so make sure you turn on the notification bell. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.